Labengki Island. This has been our spot for the past week. Absolute paradise, surrounded by pristine forest that came right down, dipping its branches into the clear blue water. We saw almost no one in that week. There is a small resort around the corner and a small village on an island a couple of miles away. We would see fishermen passing by and would exchange a friendly wave, but that was the only contact we had. Labengki is a 2-hour speedboat ride from Kendari, the nearest city, but few people make the journey up there. We had our little slice of tranquility and shared it only with the hornbills and the parrots that flew over our floating home. Moving on from a place like this is always tough. But we are in general always excited about discovering another new and exciting location. Motoring out of the bay, we waved goodbye and turned north. A couple of miles later, we noticed the water changing colour, and then around the next corner, we saw something that shocked both of us.
We know all, I think, more or less than things like this are existing in the world, and more or less we have no emotions about it because this is how we have to do to continue to live and having all of the luxury life we have. But when you're seeing this in direct, like, to be honest, I really have heavy hurt. Like, I'm not someone super emotional, but I want to cry when I'm seeing that. Like, this forest is probably here for thousands of years. We saw how these kind of rocks are so sharp and having no dirt, so it took probably thousands and thousands of years to have the right dirt, to have all these big trees living here. And we're just raping everything, and it's gonna never grow again. The water is disgusting, the rivers are fucked up, and I can't even imagine they give a lot of choice of the people who are living on this island. Their village is probably rotten, polluted, the fish they're eating is probably full of heavy metal, and they have nothing. Like, why would you stay here to live? It's just so sad.
To our right, the west coast of Labengki, steep slopes covered in virgin tropical forest. To our left, a peninsula of Sulawesi, its steep slopes devoid of trees, a Martian landscape of red earth and rocks. The difference couldn't have been more contrasting. What we were seeing, up close for the first time, was Indonesia's boom industry, nickel mining. We sailed closer and then drifted for an hour, observing through binoculars the destruction right in front of us. On our journey up the east coast of Sulawesi, we'd been noticing an ever-increasing amount of tugboats towing huge barges, some of them full of coal and some full of red earth. We were aware that mining was a big industry in Sulawesi, but it was still a big shock to be so close to it and really just being between one pristine, beautiful island and one that had been that way but was now totally destroyed. Here's what we observed. The forest had been removed. Then the topsoil had been scraped off to get at the red soil below. Where all the trees had ended up, I have no idea. Hopefully at least used for something useful, not just burnt to get rid of them. All the animals who lived there? Well, maybe there was a relocation program? It had been raining a lot in the past weeks, and we could see exactly why the watercolor was so different. The amounts of sediment running off the mountains into the sea was incredible, and would certainly have destroyed all coral in the area. Rock and earth ramps had been built out from the coast, and the barges would be nosed up to them and loaded with ore by the hundreds of trucks rolling like ants along the dusty roads. There were several small villages along this part of the coast. I guess their inhabitants worked in the mines now. Before they would have been fishermen and farmers, but now those two options were gone, probably forever. Later that day, we spent some time online informing ourselves more about this industry in Indonesia. Indonesia is the world's biggest producer of nickel, with most of it coming from Sulawesi and Halmahera to the east. In 2022, Indonesia produced 1.6 million tons of nickel. This was nearly half the world's production. Indonesia has the world's largest nickel reserves. Nickel is used to manufacture lithium-ion batteries used in electric vehicles. Indonesia is positioned to be a key supplier of the mineral for the booming electric vehicle battery market. Indonesia banned the export of ore, and this has attracted investment from many multinationals to build huge smelting plants to refine the nickel ore into battery-grade nickel. We discovered that one of the biggest of these plants was right around the corner from us. The Indonesia Morowali Industrial Park, IMIP, is an industrial park hosting primarily nickel-related industries. It is the largest nickel processing site in Indonesia. 80,000 people are employed at IMIP, 10,000 of them Chinese. The industrial park covers 3,000 hectares and is served by a seaport, an airport, a luxury resort for visiting executives, and a 2 gigawatt coal power plant. The huge coal power plant consumes 9 million tonnes annually. This coal gets barged in from the mines in neighbouring Kalimantan or Borneo. There are reportedly 18 companies operating at IMIP with a total investment of $15.3 billion US. This is serious big business. I don't really want to get into the ins and outs of electric vehicles, as I know it's a hugely divisive subject. We all use lithium batteries to power our lives. They're in every wireless device. The living space on our boat is powered by the sun, and this energy is stored in lithium batteries. Mining of all natural resources causes huge harm to the environment. We've all seen devastating oil spills and leakages in the past, wars fought and millions of lives lost over oil rights. Coal and iron mines cause massive damage. Indonesia's fortune at having the huge reserves of nickel is something most other countries envy. The boom in nickel is providing lots of new jobs, and a whole new industry is growing, with not only mining but smelting, and in the future battery manufacturing and even EV cars might be produced domestically. The resulting income will help build Indonesia's wealth. Spending on infrastructure, medical, education, etc. will all increase, benefiting the entire population. So who loses? It's the local people, as always. They lose some of their lands, the rest gets polluted. Their fishing grounds get spoiled, and they have increasing health problems resulting from the polluted water and the air full of coal particles. The crux of the problem lies in our perception of the great electrification. We know oil wells are terrible and dirty, and that petrol and diesel is stinky and pollutes the environment. We're used to that and accept it. Renewable energy and electric vehicles, on the other hand, are supposed to be green. Why then all the destruction and pollution? I guess it comes down to the lesser of two evils. We realise the raw product has to come from somewhere. This is just logical. To be confronted with this reality right in front of us after feeling like we were in untouched paradise only hours before, well, that was a shock to the system. The question that stuck in my mind is this: if we would return to Labengki in 2030, would it still be the same amazing pristine place, or would it have fallen to human greed also? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this subject. Have a good think about it and leave us a comment down below. We'd appreciate it, and we will get back to you and answer them. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who supports the making of these videos. We're a totally independent production here, so we do rely completely on support from viewers, be it from Patreon, PayPal, or direct through YouTube Supers. It's all the same. It's amazing, and thank you very much again for the support. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, please subscribe to our channel. It's free. Okay, we'll see you again next week. Bye bye.